Hello and welcome everybody out there in Twitch and D&D land to the newest session of Zodiac, the Next Generation. Now, before we jump right into the game, keep in mind you can still support these games and many others like it by dropping us a like, a follow, commenting on the videos, or even by joining our Patreon. All of the links are down in the description below. You can watch these games live over at twitch.tv/ProDMJoey and enjoy yourself with everything else happening. So, that is going to be all of my self-promotion. Raina, tell us what happened last session.
Okay, so for the first session of the Next Generation, we began with a little introduction to what's happened in the 25 years since our last generation defeated Leo. At this point, 5 years previous to when we're starting, there was a battle with an old pantheon, and now it's more of the younger generation that believes in the new pantheon. And at this point, many fighters have either retired because there's been a lot of fighting, or they died because there's been a lot of fighting. And also the younger generation tends to go towards more of a debate or trying to settle things without resulting in fighting and battles. So at this point, we met the new crew. First is Nobu, who is a noble from Morian, and Gary, who is his familiar and tag along inside of his bowl almost at all times. And then we met Sebastian, who is also from Morian, who is a half-elven guy who's friends with Nobu. And then Nobu's cousin, Reina, who is from Maida, and they've been traveling back to Maida from Morian as a way to get some visiting in with family and friends, and also take the very sheltered Nobu out into the world. At that point, we decide to go around town to kind of show some of the sights, get back adjusted to being home, and we decide that we're going to go get a cloak for Nobu because Reina's is too big for him. At that point, we bump into somebody on the street who introduces himself as Drake and kind of becomes a tag-along with the group. Kind of making friends, kind of more or less just, there's something interesting here, I'm gonna go and check it out. So at that point, we arrive at the Show and Tell, and inside are two others who are trying to hand out pamphlets. Polando, who is a monk and covered in tattoos, bright red hair, and his friend and companion, Moose, who is a mouse folk, 2 foot tall, big fluffy ears, and they are posting flyers because they're looking for a new home for the mouse folk. At that time, Rain becomes absolutely infatuated with little tiny fluffy ears and says, well, I've got some influence around the city. Let me see what we could do. Do you want to have a place to stay tonight? We can figure things out. At that point, we'll set up a time tomorrow to meet with the Khan of Maida and see what influence we can have. So at that point, we decide that we're going to go for drinks, and in a prank gone wrong, Junior, over there, Nobu Jr., starts the first fight of the new campaign. Beating up a random guy in the tavern and a veteran as well, which is not a good look for, a guy who defended the city 25 years ago in its darkest hour. The new group kicks the shit out of him in an attempt to protect Junior. But after that point, we go to Rain's estate and meet her retainers, Keys, who's a Kinku, Ulrich, who is a human, and Dorena, who is half-elf, as well as Prita, who is a cleric of Lady Sunseer, which has Polando's attention. And so we have, over dinner, we get to know each other, we converse a bit. We find out that Moose is terrified of the turkey. And we take a moment to look over the map of Zodiac and try to figure out where we could house the new Mousefolk community. But we decide that it's better to wait until the morning after we've spoken with the Khan to see what possibilities there are. And at that point, everyone calls it a night, gets some rest, and here we are.
Alrighty. So, here you all are. You've all began sleeping a little bit. Raina, you hear a voice as you're outside in the backyard of your family's estate. Right up here, by the way, in case you were wondering, it's there.
I saw. I'm excited.
You've walked through the massive maze, and you're currently... You are currently standing at the altar, speaking to your mother. There's a very quick alarm in your chest as you hear...
I'll turn really quickly.
You turn around and you see Elel.
Oh, hi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You've brought some interesting folk into your estate today.
Do you know something about them that...
I know something about one of them. The mouse folk.
Moose.
That one. They've been here for the past 25 years. They came through in great numbers. I am not all too trusting of them either. They came through with many other creatures, some of which we have been hunting. And you look down and you see the gray wolf currently walking circles in between your legs.
Hey, and I'll reach down and scratch his ears.
Now, for everybody watching, the individual speaking right now is a wood elf with a very pale complexion about him. definitely somebody who favors nighttime living over daylight. His silvery, silk smooth hair flows backwards easily underneath his studded leather armor that has a few bits of animal hide strapped to the shoulders and arms around him for better safekeeping. He has a matured look on his face. Someone who's been alive far longer than most of the people that we've dealt with thus far.
So this the mouse folk, they're of interest to the order?
They are of worry to the order. Not interest.
As far as I can tell, the one that is here is scared of his own shadow. And so I don't see him individually as a threat. I can only speak on his behalf, but we've been looking to see if there is a possibility where we can rehoe them out of the Carven Peaks. And I will have a chance to meet with their leaders and see their community. And if I feel that they pose a threat, there are other places that they can be rehomed. But my gut instinct on this is that they are a quiet, thrifty people who simply just want a place to call home.
Well, some of them may be what you are talking about. However, we have reports from different ones. Some that did not wish to stay with the rest of their pact. Den. I do not know what they call themselves. These individuals have been a bit more standoffish, and when cornered, they have been able to bite and transfer a foul disease. Not dissimilar to lycanthropy.
At that point, she kind of like tries really hard not to laugh. Like, so people are turning into giant mice, sir.
You find this humorous?
It's...
Their lives are being disrupted. Evening strikes, and they are forced to eat their family.
That is not as humorous as the image that I had.
It is quite humorous to watch, though, I must admit.
I'm sorry, sir. The ears.
Yes, they hear very well.
They are quite large.
And soft.
Well, this is something that I will certainly put on to investigate.
Of course. Get whatever information about their culture that you can. Of course, if they can coexist with us, the Order would be more than happy to have them here. But if we sense that they are a bit more foul and dishonest in their goals, they are foreigners to this land.
I understand. And even if I hope that the Order can understand, even if there is this strain in their culture, if they choose to find ways to live with it, that the Order will be as understanding and as generous as it has been to me.
I do not speak for the Order. Regardless. Brixa. He gives a very sharp whistle, and the wolf saunters over towards him as the two of them begin walking off.
All right. I'll finish by lighting a stick of incense and walking out of the maze and stopping off to go see the goats because it's that time in the morning.
Alrighty. You visit the goats and tend to them as needed. Now, was anybody else staying awake hours into the evening?
I was.
It was
For any
Mostly
reason
out of
other
terror.
than sheer terror?
No.
Okay.
music.
What'd you say, Drake?
I was staying up playing music on the balcony, on the open window of the balcony, staring out and playing music the whole time.
On the Widow's Peak.
Yeah, for 3-ish hours probably. Lowly played music, nothing crazy loud. Sebastian Strikes.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
A slow version of Through Fire and Flame.
Perception check? There it is. You're really focused on your music. You think you learned this new chord and you're trying to get it down. Which, by the way, which instrument do you play?
Well, he could play many different instruments, but if he has to pick one, I believe it's the violin.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. The most elegant of instruments. So, after a few more hours, you head back inside. Finally, nuzzle yourself into the incredibly comfortable bed here. It is a massive bed that you are sharing alongside, I believe... Who were you bunked up with? They didn't trust you at all, so you're bunked with Ulrich. So, you sleep on one end, he sleeps on the other, and it's a king-size mattress. Both of you fit fine. Unless, of course, you opt to sleep on the floor.
I heard there was a couch last time.
There is a couch. It is far superior to any couch that you've ever slept on.
It'll do.
All right. Morning rolls around, and all of you, one by one, wake up and head downstairs to a meal that's already being prepared. You hear in the kitchen, there's a full band playing right now. Or at least what sounds like one.
Rain's just in the corner with a cup of coffee, just noise and sunshine again.
Ooh, is that normal, Rain?
Is it normal?
Oh, that's just Keys. He likes to sing while making food.
Yeah, that's That's Keys. He picks up sounds as well as words and makes up his own music.
You all hear
nice.
from the kitchen. Sounds like an explosion goes off. Moose, I need a wisdom save at that.
He racked a gun for a second.
You managed to like almost. Oh, you didn't freak out. You're like, it's just the bird. It is just the bird.
And
If it's not, what if it's not?
And that was when the alchemist blew up the Chinese laundry next door.
Boom. No more Chinese laundry.
Yes. I love you so much.
Sorry, I just had to. I noticed it and I had to.
I'm so glad you did.
So anyways, you all come downstairs and you look at the beautiful array of food on the table. There is fresh hunted fish that was grilled beautifully, probably trout or other inland fish that you would find in this location. Beautiful crops of fresh bread from the wheat that they grow here in Maida. There's even an apple pie for breakfast. And waffles for days. Drake, interestingly, when you woke up, Ulrich was gone.
Must be off training somewhere. Was his stuff still in the room, or is it like he like grabbed everything and left?
As for his stuff, he doesn't really have a whole lot. He took his armor and his weapons, but like
Simple means.
were you going to look through the room?
I do want to take a peek at gander in this room.
Sure.
I'm inquisitive.
Yeah, roll an investigation. Okay.
7.
I mean, you find his sock drawer, nothing incriminating in there. You find his spare clothing. It looks similar to the clothing you saw him in yesterday. And then, like, gear that looks like it's for horseback riding. And there's just not a whole lot here.
I know he was into that.
Yes, he rides horses. Like people do when they're not poor. But you snoop through and then you hear from downstairs, all right, all of you people, we got breakfast. You want to come down here?
Yeah, I'll start heading down.
Alrighty. One by one, you walk down and Prita stops you all as you enter in. I presume breakfast was called either Nobu or Palando would be first down the stairs.
I would have already been outside stretching with the sunrise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah. Unfortunately, roll me a survival check.
I don't know where the sun is. Oh God.
No.
16.
You do actually make it up to the roof while she's doing her prayers as well.
Oh, nice.
So then
the air's great up here.
Then Nobu, you'd be the first one down the stairs. Nobu, you know it is customary in Prita's house, because this is Prita's house. She takes care of it. Everyone else just sleeps here. She tends to it. That when she cooks breakfast, you kiss her on the cheek on your way out to eat it.
Okay. Do I see her?
Yeah, she's waiting at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Come on, Gary. Let's go give her a kiss. And I'm walking down there with Gary and kissing her on the cheek, then taking the fish to her as well.
Gary looks at you like, seriously?
You
Out of
switch
the
the ball on her
bowl,
face.
or-
Just
He boops against the bowl. Next up
Thank you,
downstairs.
Rose.
The poor fish.
Yep. Who's coming down next?
I will follow suit and
You've spent some time here, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so you know the customs. Hey, good morning, boy. How you doing?
Morning. Smells delicious.
Of course it does. I made it. All right. Moose.
Moose takes his time going down the stairs.
Yep.
Hmm?
It is a full body activity or jump, 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 jump. She's
He goes to
waiting.
walk past Frida.
The wooden spoon stops right in front of your face.
Immediate all four scurry, just in no direction.
Wait, what? No, you're gonna teach that boy some fucking manners.
He isn't running towards the food. He's just terrified.
Yep, running circles.
I probably would have already been downstairs. Do I
Oh, of
see all
course.
this happening?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Moose. It's okay. She just wants a kiss on the cheek. As a thank you for breakfast. It's her thing.
It's
Hold
a
on.
halfling thing.
Oh yeah, she's a halfling. Hold on.
Hmm.
Oh. So far, I'm pretty. So far, I think like he's thought he's been attacked. Just, he's gonna walk up to her.
And she barely leans down to you.
I give her a boop with the snoot.
That ain't good.
Oh,
Drake, you said you peek around the corner?
Oh, no. I was saying that's what Muse was doing.
Oh.
Yeah, he coming down, like putting his hair up into like just tied up back into the back
Yep.
face and stuff.
She stops you.
Yes, grandmother.
What's your AC? Oh, it doesn't matter. She rolled a 23.
Well,
Wooden spoon to the back of your head. You take 3 points of psychic damage.
good thing I'm resistant.
Whack!
Sorry.
You listen here, you little fucker, okay? I may have kids, but they ain't got kids. The name is Prida Machin. Say it.
Frida Marchin.
All right. And I am the beautiful and devoted follower of the ray of sunlight herself.
I called you beautiful yesterday.
Aye. And that's why you only got one whack.
Fair enough.
Now give me my kiss. And she gestures to her cheek with the spoon.
I give her a peck on the cheek.
All right, get out of here. And for any of you with the old Italian grandma, yup, you know. You know.
One saw last session because his hair was in half of his face. He has a scar over his left eye. It's like in like a crescent shape.
Ooh.
It like goes through his eye, but didn't cut the eye.
So you got rid of the emo cut? You just pulled it back?
Cut. Well, the little tuft that there is like kind of hide the scar.
Yeah, we know what it's called.
It's not a phase, Dad.
So you all look at the buffet produced for you this morning. I had Ulrich do a little bit of fishing this morning to get us the nice, lovely trout you see. You see Ulrich is already seated at the table expectantly. Keys wanders out, and you just hear like a beatbox style rhythm of music coming out of him as he's just dancing over to the table and puts orange juice down for everybody.
Thank you, Keys.
You are most welcome, madame.
I give his like little like feathers of fluff on the top.
Yep. Then he looks at everybody else. All right, eat up, bitches. Dorena kind of like walks down the stairs very quietly, and the moment she sees Moose, just her eyes sparkle. And then looks away.
Moose freezes for a moment, looks behind him.
There is a window closed.
Begins walking towards the food. Starts climbing up onto the table.
Keys will poke your side, Reyna, as he sits on your left-hand side, as he usually does. You are seated on the right of Prita, since she sits at the head of the table. And then Keys is on your left. So, Prita, Keys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he pokes you a couple of times?
Yes, Keys.
He unhinges his jaw. Fine, tell the prissy little noble girl to come on through, but don't tell her I said this time.
He just doesn't understand Kinko, does he?
Onomatopoeia.
Like, scratch his little chin. You're like, thank you for including the whole message.
He
This
nods.
is why we're friends. This is why we're friends.
Indubitably. He starts eating waffles. Waffles. So, everybody else sits down.
Reyna does not have a plate of food.
You have coffee, though.
I have coffee.
Moose is holding a fork like a spear. looking at a fried fish, just takes a bite of it.
Fish is good.
It's about half my size.
A trout? Oh yeah. Trouts are big.
Moose, do your people not like hunt? Are they usually vegetarian or?
Moose, if you need for me to answer, the Softpaws were never hunters. They were scavengers. They would find whatever they could and survive off of it. Incredible digestive systems, though. You guys can eat damn near anything except like metal. You can chew through metal, but you can't eat it. The other ones were really good hunters, though.
Yeah. Moose is just like, it depends on what gets left behind.
Oh,
We eat what we can.
oh, so this must
Like,
be a whole new thing.
You called meat. The elders call it. Turns out you have a lot of it.
We do. We, well, Ulrich is a very talented hunter, I must say. And so we usually have everything fairly fresh and quick.
Yeah.
If there's anything you want to try, just let us know.
Oh, I'm fine. And he like looks at the already completely skeletonized fish. Just like takes the head and begins to nom on it.
Yeah, you'll get through the bones. Yep. And Dorena kind of like offers you a bowl of fruit. Moose?
What is this?
Cantaloupe, honeydew melon, strawberries, and grapes.
Honeydew melon
Honeydew melon.
is a space.
Yes.
He like says after basically having taken out a small chunk off the top of the fish's head. Takes out a toothpick. Pokes it again. Takes a piece. is sweet.
She nods.
What did you do to it?
It's just how it is. It grows on plants. Moose, plants eat people.
Forbidden.
Um,
He like pushes the bowl back to his leg.
Double
Perhaps
kick.
perhaps later we can show you the garden, and we do keep a few animals here for food. And
Are there plants in the garden?
a garden is all plants. It's plants that we grow so that we can eat them.
Mild panic attack. How the hell have you survived?
The third generation.
Don't worry, little one. The plants, they're pretty good. We eat them.
You eat them?
What's so terrifying about a plant? It doesn't move. It doesn't do anything except use sunlight to grow.
Yeah, it's like grass. And she points outside to the green stuff. You've never known what it was called, but the green stuff on the ground, apparently it's grass.
That's a plant?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're trees.
I was already terrified.
All that's considered plants, and it's harmless. It doesn't do anything.
Moose climbs up to a windowsill and is staring at the ground.
It's nothing to worry about. I know you're not from around here, but plants are pretty tame for the most part. They don't really do anything except just grow.
My entire out of character, the entire clan's been living in the fucking mountains.
Somehow surviving.
Surviving beyond all better judgment.
Well, even mountains have plants.
Yeah, but nobody told us what they were.
Yeah, you see, and Rain will get up, and you see out there, and she'll point to like the maze of the bushes and the flowering plants out there. All of that is plants, but they stay there. They don't move. They don't attack anybody. They just look nice. That's all they do.
Moose is looking at like leaves blowing in the wind. They're moving.
Unless you speak of the carnivorous plants that are in some forests.
Yeah, there are some plants that you have to watch out for, but
Some plants are
Slow
poisonous.
Turn.
Yeah, if you eat them, people use them to like create poisons and put them in their food or inject them with it, I believe.
2 steps
None
forward,
of
1
this
step
is
back.
necessary conversation.
Actually,
he's gotta
2
learn it
steps
sooner or
forward,
later.
10 back.
Well, I mean, we're lucky that it's not in the food we're eating right now because we're in a safe place.
He's gonna look at Prissa. You would never poison me, right?
No, if I was gonna kill you, she waves her spoon.
Okay.
And it's Prida. Prida.
Sorry.
No problem. What food do you put in the bowl, Nobu?
What'd she give us for breakfast?
There is trout. There's waffles.
A whole waffle.
Yeah, it can't be a trout, unfortunately.
I mean, it
really
could
thought
be.
about it.
They're fish.
No,
Fish are
absolutely.
cannibals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, some fresh vegetables, bread. It's
More like
actually
Gary
toast.
the Tide. Whatever he hits the bowl nearest.
Towards the honeydew melon. Dunk.
No, the mouse thing touched that. I'm gonna throw some salmon in there.
And he'll devour it. What do you eat, Nobu?
Pancakes and waffles.
With extra syrup.
Yeah, just anything bad.
All right. So, you have a meeting with Rodon today, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Tell him he still owes me 5 gold from our last game of Pie Show.
I will be more than happy to tell him that.
That a girl. By the way, I saw Ilel here last night, walking away. Didn't even say hello to me.
I will tell him that you're very upset with him. And I'm sure he's terrified of her too.
Reasonably speaking, yes. She is soft and doughy, but she deserves respect.
Yeah, he just had some news and to catch me up since I've been out of town.
And how's Brixa doing?
As sweet as ever.
He's feeding him, right? Last time I
More
saw
than
that
enough.
pup, it didn't seem... It didn't
You
seem
should-
like it had a full belly.
She's got some roundness now.
All right.
And the fur's coming back in because I'm sure that, you know, when he brought her in, she was not well. But
Yeah,
she's doing great now.
All right.
You know how it is. You feed a stray, and she like looks over the rest of the table, and they stay.
Moose is like currently in thought. Somebody had a kid?
What?
A pup.
No, that's what we call dogs. Or wolves. Or bears.
Moose just like seemingly goes cross-eyed, like, what?
4-legged furry creatures. That are cute. And not immediately deadly.
Takes out a small notebook. There's a big check mark and a big X mark on 2 different pages.
Mm-hmm.
Flips over to a third one with a question mark.
Dog. All right. Well, anyways, we'll handle getting everything together.
Right. Moose and Palando, I'm sure that you'll want to go and speak to Rodin, but anyone else? It's a trip to court. If you're welcome to come if you'd like, but it's not. It's a trip to court, so you're welcome to stay here if you'd rather not. I mean, there's a lot of Mida to go through.
Come on, Sebastian, you're gonna be with me. We're gonna represent Morian. Looks down at Gary.
All right. I was just about to ask what you were planning on doing. All right, we'll
they're
go.
They're gonna need Morian's representation on this.
Ulrich looks over at you, Rana. Do you need me to accompany you, or am I all right just to... He just gestures with his hand.
And she'll just kind of like look over at Junior on Click and then like look back at him like, I might need some help. like there's that look that communicates that.
He nods. All right, Keys. Guess you're coming with me, huh? Keys looks over. Oh, that's hot. Fuck you, Keys.
Moose,
Was it- Was
Moose
that
is
from
studying
this
this dynamic.
Hmm?
Raina.
What'd you say, Raina?
I said, was that from this morning?
He just stands up and starts walking out. Keys looks at you and just nods. There are no secrets with Keys. He is a creature of pure, unadulterated chaos.
Polando's gonna stand up, adjust his hand wraps. All right, Moose, today's the day we find you a home. And he opens up his bag.
Moose is still staring out the window.
Can I go grab Moose and like try and like put him into the sack for Polando?
Pluck.
Do I see him coming? Do I at least
What's your
sense
passive?
him? 13.
You see his reflection in the window.
He turns around before you can grab him. Darts underneath you and goes in the bag.
By the way, Polando has said that every day since he's met Moose.
I remember from last night.
Yup.
Today'll be the day. Alright, well, all of you fuckers get out of my house. Thank you.
Was
Thanks for
delicious as
breakfast.
always. Thank you.
Of course, you're all welcome. You know, one of these days, I'm gonna make y'all do the dishes instead. And you know what? I'm gonna make you scrub all the pots and pans, and you all already walked out of the house.
Oh, look at the time. And then dash out the door.
You see Rita, like Raid says as she goes out.
Yep.
She's got her hair braided back like Lara Croft style, because it's tremendously long. And then she actually has she's not wearing her armor, but she's carrying her greatsword with her, and the clothing she has is actually showing one of her tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got 3 cranes across the sunshine that like goes down one arm. And
Wait, you have tattoos?
yes.
And Nobu Jr. can't get one?
I have been wanting to get a tattoo. You know what? Maybe, Sebastian, do you want to represent Morian today?
No,
Ooh, you all can take Moose. I'll
I'm
go with
gonna-
them. We can get tattoos.
I'm gonna stick with you. You know.
There's not a place in Wida.
But isn't there one up the road where?
Yeah,
this-
the bridge burners, just a little ways north.
Several days away.
This is gonna be in the bag doing crochet.
what would you want to get? Do you have any like inspiration?
Oh, I wanted to get a heart that said "Mom" on my neck or close to my face.
I think you want to rethink that one.
What? She'd love it.
I mean, she'd
Probably
probably
not
tell,
the neck or face.
She'd probably tell you she loves it, and she would be like giving me the stink eye the whole time.
What about on your arm?
Maybe. Yeah, I could get one on my arm.
Because she gives you strength, right?
She does.
There you go.
So what's your passive, Nobu?
Incredibly low, isn't it?
No, it's only a 10. You hear from back behind you, Ulrich whisper, "What arms?"
Oh. Excuse me? Ulrich, you can carry Gary to the meeting to represent Morian. I'm going somewhere where I'm...
He takes out his cigarette, ashes in the bowl, and takes it from you.
Don't eat it, Gary.
Here's
Oh.
the Fae, he's gonna eat it.
He won't give a fuck.
Good luck, Gary.
Oh, sorry. I called that a cigarette. It's not a cigarette. It's a wrapped substance.
Probably.
So that's how he's so patient.
Yep.
Got it.
But he'll carry the bowl for you, sure. And up towards the front, Raina, since you are taking the lead, Keys is kind of just like jumping from awning to awning on top of the houses. And Dorena is walking right beside you. She looks over at you. So how do I put this delicately? Rodan has made a deal with Carvin.
That's probably as delicately as you could put it.
Yeah.
What kind of deal?
He's gonna start taking in troops from Carvin instead of from the bridge burners.
I'm going to assume that Carvin is offering more per head than the bridge burners are.
They cost more, yeah, but they because of their heritage are a bit more show-offish, I guess.
Don't tell me it's a personal preference that's driving that.
I have no idea about his preferences, but I just figured I'd let you know what's whispered down the lane. Gumdrop?
Thank you.
Most is going to be crawling back up Palando's shoulder, with his hand occupied with two crocheting needles, and is currently crocheting a little patch. What are we talking about?
Great dragon in the mountains has soldiers that are coming down. You know what a dragon is?
That you do know. That one you do know.
Which dragon?
Voss Carvin. You know, one of the holy relics of Lady Sunseer was actually a scale from Voss Carvin.
Out of all of the things, and he's not running in fear when you mention dragon.
I'm going to take a guess that dragons aren't new.
My great-great-grandfather died to a dragon.
Which one?
A very big brown one.
No, I meant which great-grandfather? On your mother's or father's side?
I had 4. Third. No. It was one of them. Still crocheting.
Oh. If this is... Carvin is not... She's a powerful ally, but... Not exactly the kind of company that I think Maida should be keeping.
So
what? Her and Lady Sunseer were great friends. Or so I've heard.
My grandfather valiantly ran away from her. Unfortunately, died after a trip.
Voss Carvin rules the mountains with a very tight grip on her people. Beyond what is necessary to keep them safe. That's not how I think people should be treated by their leaders.
You've seen this?
I've seen survivors, and they've told their story here. We have a few who are refugees that have made it out of the mountains here.
But what do the masses think? there's always going to be a few people that don't like their leadership, but if the majority are happy and safe.
That's the problem.
Who would
don't-
speak against the dragon?
We don't hear from the masses. And if you've ever been out in the woods at night and you don't hear creatures at all, you know something's wrong.
Ooh, I don't like the nighttime. There's no sun.
And Ray just looks over at Dorena and just is like
What about?
shares that inside joke.
You could think that the reflection of the light off the moon could be the sun still there.
That's the little glimmer of hope that gets me through the night.
Unless you talk about the days when you can't see it at all.
His eyes just widen and he stares off into the void.
Theirs must be the darkest times. Puts a hand on Philander's shoulder.
Squishing Moose.
It's okay. It's just darkest right before the dawn.
So, everybody, this building is the building that you are heading to right now. The Diplomats building. All of the representatives from the surrounding areas here inside of Terra, as well as the other nations, can be found in this building. It is a refugee for people who might be traveling outside of their territories and need a little bit more familiarity with their home or guidance from people whose cultures coincide with their own. And just to let you guys know, this map is actually to scale. It is 2 miles across this entire town. So, just keep that in mind when you're traveling. So yeah. Where Sebastian is marks the building. Feel free to mark it yourselves if you would like. This is your map to Sully. Be right back.
So Nobu, tattoos hurt a lot.
But then why would anyone get them?
Because, people don't always make the best decisions. I mean, they look really cool, I'm not going to lie, but they hurt a lot.
Yes, I do.
You've been stabbed with a needle before, right, Junior?
Oh God, no.
Not even doing your cross-stitching?
No. My mother wouldn't let me touch needles or anything like that when I was growing up. I could barely use this sword. It wasn't given to me by your father, actually. I wouldn't be able to touch it. But she
Sheltered.
what? Sheltered. I wasn't sheltered. I was just
I think you're a little
like
bit
an
sheltered, bud.
protected. I'm gonna use the word protected. I like that better.
This seems like an average childhood to me.
So,
Did you have someone make sure your tea was not too hot before you drink it as
Oh,
well?
we had this little girl that would come in and try all our food to make sure it wasn't poisoned or too hot or too cold. She once gave me hot food and I didn't see her for a week. She was one of my friends.
So you've never experienced the thrill of life, then?
You mean hanging out with Gary and Hida?
single
No.
bubble.
Gary is great and all, but no, the thrills of just never knowing when your next hot meal is going to be, living on the edge, taking chances.
Edges are sharp, and
Exactly.
I would love to know when my next meal is. I'm sorry. Okay.
Moose is gonna look at Flander like, that's not normal.
Not for these people.
But anyways, as you've all
Still
walked
crocheting.
through the city streets of Maida, you've made it over to the Diplomat Center. This is, of course, Reyna, known to you as the home of Radon, as well as the personal estate of many of the other representatives all around the area. Maida being the capital of Terra, it is the most frequented city for travel and commerce to be discussed. As you all walk up the large platform-like stairs up towards the cathedral-like entrance to this diplomat's building, there are guards out front who stop you all and approach and goes, Raina,
So, how's it going?
it's going. Looks at you and your companions. All right, weapons can go on the rack over there.
Rana will.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Rana very slowly takes off the greatsword, which is like twice as big as Moose.
That's not
I'm
that
gonna say
big.
3.
Yeah,
Three or four times, yeah.
Twice as big as Moose is 6 feet. Like that's.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Actually, I'm 2 feet. I'm 2.5 feet.
Let's say 4.
It's like
I'm gonna lean up against the guard and just. I can't take my hands off.
I wouldn't say that.
We actually have a precaution for people like you. Clamp around your wrists. They lock right up against themselves.
Joke's on you, I still got my feet.
Moose is going to
Clamp on the feet. Deck save.
You can't clamp what's in my trousers.
Deck save, Polando.
Oh god.
And Moose, since you're on Polando.
Moose is just like, what?
You manage not to lose your balance as now your hands and feet are stuck together. You're like hopping through the area.
I will stop talking now.
I'll just like pick him up and like fireman carry him.
All right.
Moose is hanging off his satchel.
Yeah, I'll set my hammer down and help him get along.
Yep.
Don't
Everyone
worry,
else.
Moose, today's the day. As I'm riding on Raina's shoulder.
All right. You all do get pat down, and any magical focuses you have are also removed from your persons.
Nobu's gonna stop right there with the sword. He's gonna be like, my mom said I can't get rid of this.
We are fully aware of your predicament, young Nobu. We just ask that you put this chain on it so you can't give it to anybody else. It's a wristband that connects it to your wrist.
Oh, that's
They're not
perfect,
afraid
yeah.
of you having it. They're afraid of anyone else having it.
That's
He might
fine.
keep that.
I'm
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
that. That is. Can I keep this?
No, we need it back.
You know, this is really just for show. There's no need for you to take.
Drake.
Yeah, we'll take it. They take.
Moose hand.
Yeah.
A receipt?
Moose,
Like a stub that I hand you so I get mine back? I don't want it to get mixed up.
They toss it on the rack.
Moose hands one of them a very tiny crossbow.
They take your crocheting needles. They're sharp. Those things are sharp, dude. And everybody else, they give a quick investigation. Unless any of you preemptively hid weapons on your persons, they're removed from you. Nobu, they know you to a degree, and therefore they view you as a non-threat with a weapon.
Did
Oh,
I
that's perfect.
feel
What'd you say, Drake?
on me?
You're what?
My violin.
Absolutely not. They know what bards are.
I'm not a what? I'm a lawyer.
They know what bards are. The moment you say, well, technically, they're like, nope, you're a bard. Give me your weapons. The moment you argue, you're either a rogue or a bard. Be happy they went with the not the probing to find any weapons.
But Jesus.
If you are a
Yeah,
rogue, hey, this is a diplomat's office. This
Yeah,
is yeah,
The bards might like the probing. Who knows?
yeah.
I
Oh,
give-
Not all of
so
them.
they take away my toothpicks I call daggers.
Yep, everything that could be perceived as weapons, except Nobu.
I
can't
assume they
believe they
take.
let me-
Hold on, I have cooking utensils. These tools, they probably take that.
They'll just take your bags off you, make it a little easier. They'll keep an eye on it, of course.
Can I not give the Tinker's tools?
Roll persuasion.
I think maybe as a sign of good faith, you should just let him take it all.
They look at you, look at the tools as your eyes are starting to well up, and they're like, it's another bard. No. And they put it to the side. So
That's not an instrument.
they don't know what the fuck it is. It's Tinkerer's tools.
It's all right, Moose. These are good people.
Does anyone know
We're
what
gonna
that
get our
is?
stuff back.
What Tinkerer's tools are in this party? I don't believe. Maybe Nobu. Maybe. But outside of him, I don't think any of you have enough worldly experience to understand what that is.
Moose is going to crawl back into Palandra, the satchel that's on Palandra's shoulder, and it's just gonna rock back and forth in there.
I think they took it.
No, that was completely empty, so why would they take
Okay.
There's a
it?
model chair in there.
I guess I could carry the satchel since Palando's being carried by Rain.
That's true.
Can you get it off of me with the handcuffs on?
Sure, the
Sure.
straps
There's a
unstrapped
buckle.
and whatnot.
But anyways, you all step into this building, and it is a beautiful sight to behold. The very finely crafted walls of this establishment just resonates with a level of architecture that leaves most of you in awe at the amount of effort they put into this building. Now, they have representation towards every single god around here, etched into the walls themselves. The old gods, the new ones known as the champions, and other diverse religions individuals might have based off of their culture. There are 4 distinct hallways in this area. One to the left that is labeled Fira, one to the directly north, which is labeled Terra. Next to that is Wake, and to the far right, there's one that says Unda, which is the Underdark. So-
Is there a statue to Sunseer?
Of course, well, it's not a statue. They're all etched into the walls.
Oh, okay. Raina, wait, stop here.
She'll,
And
she
turn
knows
around.
exactly what he's talking about and go there.
Yep.
I'm gonna clasp my hands and just say a quick prayer under my breath. All right, I'm good.
Alrighty.
What do you mean, clasp your hands? Just clasp them more together.
Yep.
Just hold him facing the statue. Yep.
Onward, and I'm pointing in the wrong direction because I'm backwards.
Nobu, roll me a investigation. Because you're looking for name tags. You don't know what people actually are. You know name tags. So you all begin walking down the Terra hallway, where all of the representatives from the Terra territory would be. And as you are passing by, Nobu, roll me a stealth check.
No? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah,
In-game
stealth check.
advantage.
Okay.
gonna keep
one,
this.
One.
Oh. 15, that's not bad.
That beats everybody in the party. Except your NPC. Keys is watching you as you kind of like slowly drift away, and you walk over to the left door that is labeled Bridge Burners Association and Company. And as you walk over, Keys looks at you. He has the sound of a creaking door open. Nobody else hears. He's just looking at you. And then he waddles up to you, and he's following you.
Let's go.
All right.
And we're on this adventure.
All right. We're putting you on pause because plot first. As the rest of you continue walking down the hallway, you make it all the way to the back where there is a wide open area for Maida itself. There is a hanging sign on top of the area showing that this is Maida's territory. Now, as you walk over there and get through the archway, you see the pristine, beautiful map on the wall describing and depicting the entirety of the Midas city, places of interest, useful shops for the average person who would be coming through here to find, all of those things. And it's this map that you're all looking at, which is on the wall beautifully. And as you begin walking through, you all see a tall drow standing at the back of the room, talking easily with what appears to be two different separate diplomats. One is a human with draconic scales against their face, looking scrawny with giant bifocals and slightly graying peaks around their hair. The robes they're wearing are very, very indicative of Vascarvin. However, they are a little on the lankier side. The other individual that they're talking to right now appears to be a well-chiseled looking man, fairly tall, but nothing else really stands out about him other than the 7 weapon holsters on his person, which are all completely empty right now. And as you all walk forward, you look at the drow, who looks over at all of you and goes, "Well, thank you for joining us here today, Rain."
It's such a pleasure, Rodan.
And I see you brought a lot of company with you. Hello, everybody else. I am Rodan Zeles. I am the Khan of Mida.
Nice to meet you.
What did he do?
Wave him around so he can see.
Pleasure's mine. I put out my hand to shake.
He approaches you and shakes your hand.
And pardon me, guests of the con, for interrupting. I don't mean to.
Yes, both of you go back to my office. I will continue this conversation after I'm done with them. And they both nod and begin walking away. The one with the draconic scales kind of trips over himself a little bit, but then hurries over to the back wall where there is a door entering into the office.
Rodan, you remember my cousin?
You start looking around and he replies, "Yes, I remember you have a cousin."
He's here somewhere.
The fish. Gary is with Ulrich there.
Yeah, Ulrich is just ashing on the floor in this place. I think he went with keys to the bathroom. Just keeps smoking.
Well, and Sebastian, our companion from Morian.
I don't remember you, but it is a pleasure to meet you nonetheless. And this is what he said verbatim the past 6 times that you've met him. And he shakes your hand. And who are these other individuals?
This is Drake, a recent addition to.
Man, very nice to meet you.
Yomo Maida is not just going to keep paying for you to recruit more urchins.
Urchins? Never mind.
I'm going to ignore the obvious jab and continue with business.
Move your mic up a little bit.
There is a potential for a new opportunity for Mida that I think is going to be beneficial to us as well, to a new peoples, to Zodiac. Do you have a, you've already sent some people to your office, but is there another place where we could talk Privately?
I figured this conversation would be short-lived, so it's best to have it right here. Who are these people that you are trying to get associated with Maida? Why are they refugees? Where are they refugees from? Who is their representative? I also need to know about their cultural association. Which territory do we have to label them with? We need the details.
Moose, do you
In the
What?
bag.
Yeah.
want to come out and talk to Rodan about your people?
I'll maneuver the bag so that he can kind of poke his head out.
He pokes his head out.
Is that a were-rat?
No.
Thank you for the sub.
Sorry. Moose pops out and climbs up the shoulder of Sebastian.
Hello, I am Rodan, and he offers you a hand. It is a gloved hand that looks very smooth and soft and just offers it towards you.
Moose is gonna wait, flip through his book. Greeting. And he's going to like move his pointer finger up and down.
He'll take your pointer finger and shake it
No,
with two
he's
fingers.
moving his pointer finger.
Oh, okay, so you grab his... Okay, gotcha. Very well. Where do you hail from?
Here or in general?
In general.
The dark.
Unda. Okay. And who is the representative of your people?
He's gonna look at Rain. Does he mean my leader or
The person who speaks for all of you.
that would be me?
Good. And any cultural respects that you need associated with you? Which territory of Unda are you from? You don't strike me as all too familiar, but you do resemble the werefolk. Do you elongate at nighttime, closer around the full moon, or by will?
No.
Okay, so you are not in any shape, way, or form associated with the werefolk.
Do I know what a werefolk is, Jero?
Roll me a nature check.
Airfolk?
Werefolk, yeah.
Oh no, Drake's saying this.
Yeah.
Drake's saying this out loud.
That one.
Moose, you have no idea what a werefolk is. A werefolk is an individual who resembles bestial contortions across themselves, and their body reshapes and forms in a way to complement that, but they also gain the instincts of that beast when that happens.
Such as lycanthropy. Yes, I know. It is. I was just more
Then why would you ask the question?
because I was trying to understand that you're having a werefolk issue, like a werewolf, were-rat.
Excuse me, I'm having a conversation. Focus is back to Moose. All of you realize this guy's a dick. Like, he is, for
I
all
don't.
intents and purposes, a dick. Well, everyone else in the room.
This is
I don't
normal.
think I understand him. He used a lot of big words, and I'm just from the country.
Moose is going to like take the conversation that he was listening to. He didn't realize he was addressing a different person.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We don't transform.
Okay, good enough.
We're stuck like this.
And any cultural significance that you need, any religious rites that you prefer not to have associated with you or your people, or religious rites that we need to be aware of, such as, and not limited to, animal sacrifice, humanoid sacrifice, offerings to an off-land association, god and or entity, or anything else. And at this point, he pulls out a document and he's doing a checklist.
Moose is just listening. I hate the fact that my highest fucking skill check.
I know. And he just looks at you expectantly after throwing all of that information at you.
We want safety.
Okay. Is there safety from a particular entity that is leaving you and your people refugees in your land?
What did you call her?
What?
I'm looking at Rain. Oh, what did you call her?
Vascarvin.
Vascarvin is not currently at war with any groups or individuals.
Well, we get killed by her a lot.
Unda is not closely represented inside of the Carven Peaks.
What's Unda?
He takes the piece of paper, crumples it up, and just throws it behind him. Rain, a moment, please.
I put Polando down.
Nope, yeah, I'll just wait here.
It's really nice marble flooring. You notice like there's a slight reflection that's about 1/4 of an inch from the actual wood underneath.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Rain, he walks with you about 40 feet or so to the opposite end of this building, and looks over at your group. First off, that was a very serious statement. Maida is not providing food and shelter to every single stray that you want to pick up. I understand people need to eat, but we have homes, we have options for that. You don't need to pick them all up yourself, especially since you're not the one paying for them. We are.
I understand that, but they are looking for a homeland. They are...
I'm not referring to the rat. I'm happy helping the tiny creature. I'm referring to the gestures to Polando and Drake.
They under my personal expense.
Yes, the personal expense that is an allowance from Maida. So, aside from that, I need you to decipher exactly all of the information we need, okay? I do not necessarily have the time to sit down and communicate with a being that does not seem fully sentient in laws and order. So please get the information I need from him, and
I can tell you a bit now.
please.
They're relatively new to everything. From what I can understand, that they've made their home in the mountains.
Was
Well,
there
of course,
was there another rift?
I believe this was the original.
Okay. He relaxes the moment you say that.
And from what I can tell, they are highly susceptible to what we would consider normal dangers, including Voskar. And even though they came through in numbers, their community is rather small at this point because of those dangers. They're handy people, tinkerers, crafters, which I thought that, considering that that is one of the few professions that we lack. We have plenty of natural goods and high artistry, but we don't have anything like the crafting or tinkering and such. Their primary concern is truly just the safety of their people, and I believe that much of their culture may have been lost in transition, and much of it is no longer relevant considering the new circumstances of their life here on this particular plane.
So you're telling me they came from the other place
That's
during the battle?
yes. They did say that they came through at the same. The timelines are the same, and considering that he thinks that plants are scary and terrifying, and as are turkeys, I believe that.
So, the majority of the things that came through the rift have been terrorizing our landscape and our home for the past 25 years. Luckily, the bridge burners put up their location where they did. So all of the ones trying to get back to the rifts have been hunted down by them immediately. If this group of individuals are from that place, first off, I would like information about that place. As much of it as possible. And as for their skill sets, these need to be proven by their folk, by their people. A representation of what they can actually construct and show to us. And all of that will have to be provided by them fully, meaning they will need to purchase their own goods, equipment, everything else in order to construct them and show it to me. If they have the skills that you claim they have, we will be more than happy to integrate them into some other city.
In Terra.
A city that will be reasonable to them. Whether that be Terra, Fira, Unda, or Wake. But again, this is a responsibility from them to show to us. Now, if they are claiming that they are just refugees, we will clearly bring them here. However, I'm sure you don't want them to be in the refugee camps right now, considering how skittish they are.
Yes.
Alrighty. As for raw materials and equipment, I suggest that you find yourself over towards the bridge burners, if they need that. By the sounds of it, they don't have it themselves. So, do all of that to get all of the information that I just inquired about from them, as honestly and earnestly as possible, and then bring it back here to me. Now, are we done with this conversation?
One more thing.
Hmm.
This prissy noble girl also is requesting that 5 gold that you owe to Prita.
Good day. He just scoffs, bites his tongue. You can almost smell the iron as he's just walking away now. He walks over to the office, opens the door, and there is a little bit of a slam to it shut.
Is the douche done talking now?
Yes.
That's a douche.
A person who's not very nice.
You just gave him that ammo. But anyways, back on over to Nobu and Keys.
Oh, great.
Actually, we'll get back to that right after our break. We will be right back.